Shalom, everybody in the body. Hmm? Back for some, back for some more, back for another one. How y'all doing? How everybody doing? Hmm? Shalom, what I do to you? That's a greeting after we done had some beef and you coming to fix it. That's when you will say shalom. But if it's pure peace, you come in with the shalom, huh? Shalom never existed. None of our ancestors ever said shalom. Shalom Aki, and it's not Aki, it's Akiya. Or you could say Akiya if you want to say that. I say that sometimes. Akiya, huh? If you want to get funky with it, Akiya, huh? Or say how you want to say it. Who cares? Right? It don't do nothing to that love. You can still see that place that I saw saying shalom. But this is just in case you wanted to be Hebraically correct. Man, I love y'all so much, man. I love everything, man. I love this language. I love all people. I love Gentiles, especially when they come roll with us. You know, you ready to throw yours in the trash that's going right now to come sit down with us with nothing? We trying to get food together right now. Huh? Plant Vineyards 144 at gmail.com. Y'all tap in. Hit that. I don't care if you want to just buy. Just let me know you're out there. Say something. You know, we got action. We got action. Uh, Particularly, I've been talking to a brother. He warms my soul. He got a bunch of acres. He got a bunch of food. You know, so y'all tap in. Let's see where y'all at, and y'all could go start getting this, and we could start keeping this in the Hebrew community, okay? Instead of paying the grocery store, who they put us out of business. We was doing this. This was what we did. You know, your whole family, y'all didn't do nothing but grow tomatoes. And somebody across the way grew onions. And we all came together and we traded off and we switched off. But see, now we got things called rent and gas and bills and all of this kind of stuff, right? Now we need them greenbacks. Now we need a couple of dollars, huh? They ain't taking corn and wine no more. So, speaking of that, if you want to just donate, whatever you can give, we need it. We starting from the bottom. We ain't got nothing, right? And whatever you give is going to feed the children of Israel, right? So if you work at Home Depot and you got to hook up on the dirt, on the grow dirt, on the compost and things like that, we need all of that. If you're a carpenter and you like to build planter boxes, we need you. Huh? If you just got a couple dollars and you want to send that, we need that. Okay? If you got to hook up on the seeds, we need that. Okay? If you selling chickens, we need that. Whatever you could throw it so we could blow it. Send it so we could spin it, huh? But yeah, we back. We back for some more. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna come out. You know, I hit this button and just start running my mouth. but I know what needs to happen. I know that. I know the Most High filled me up. I know the Most High snatched me out of the earth and filled me up and then put me back. You know, what do we do like that? That we use? We we grab it dang near empty and we fill it up and then we put it back and we use it. It's ready for use. But this is serious. This is real serious. How I told y'all, I become a piece of his heart for a moment, and I understand his feelings, and he's very serious about that. He don't want these people feeding us from behind a wall no more. And why not? You know, we could do this. We could feed ourselves. We could grow food. You know, and the pork thing was just getting us ready. You know, that's all it was doing, was getting us ready. And you know, after I had my experience, and they told me to watch out for a few things, and I start studying. You know, I had to actually know every vitamin of things. Because if I eat too much potassium, I'll drop dead right here, right now. You know, if I eat some with too much phosphorus, I'll drop dead right here, right now. You know, so you got to find out what's in everything. If I eat an avocado, okay, have me a suit ready and all that. You know what I'm saying? And, if I eat a mango, you know, so I got to be careful. But that led me to know what's in everything. And that's how I found out about the starch. That's how I found out that this sugar is a straight chemical, y'all. That white granulated sugar, it's all shiny. That ain't how sugar look. Sugar is brown and it don't shine. Okay. So this other that white stuff is a chemical, and everything that white stuff is in, it's coming out of certain fruit. If it's fake, then how did you get it in a fruit? They grew it like that. And I saw a video too once where they poking stuff with a needle and they shooting sugar in it that way, liquid sugar. So man, these people is wicked, man, and they killing us. They poisoning us, you know. And man, first I found out about the bread, then I looked into the meat, then I looked into the carbs, then I looked into and it's like I ended up going in the grocery store and going straight to the produce, right? And then I'm getting everything, but I had to quit doing that because they spraying that Roundup, man. That's like you know if it'll kill a bug, it'll make you sick, and if it's accumulating in your blood and you get enough of it over years, right? Over years, then you're gonna kick the bucket too. You're gonna die just like them bugs, right? So that's what you're trying to say. We bugs, bug spray, and it's a cold thing, y'all. It's a cold thing. And jump in front of this. Let's get in front of this. We can feed ourselves. It's a whole bunch of us, right? And everybody ain't got to have no farm. Everybody ain't got to grow the food. We just need a certain, amount of us. We'll know when to stop. We'll know when we don't need no more people doing it because, uh, all the tribes will be fed, you know, and we'll be all right after that. And plant vineyards. So a brother said, "No, that ain't talking about yet." Well, what you think? You're gonna get out there in the wilderness and then start learning then. No, we're going to be experts because we're going to be doing it now, right? Man, I'm going to read that email. Brother was talking crazy, man. He came in, he didn't hear nothing I said. All he heard was his hate. And I want to speak to him directly, brother, because I love you, number one. Number two, you ain't going to go where I'm going if you walking around with all that in your heart like that, brother. You know what I'm saying? So let's send a prayer up for him and pray his ears open. You know, I'm not like these other people. I'm not gonna get mad at you. I'm not gonna block you. You know, nothing is personal to me. You know, I know that. You know, nothing is special about me. You would act that way. You probably act that way every day with a lot of people. You know, and the main objective is to get that out of your heart, brother. You know, for real. But how's everybody out there? Everybody blessed? Type in some sevens. Let me know you A1. Con? Yeah, but tap in, y'all. There they go. There go them perfections. Huh? There go them completions. Huh? Praise a higher. Three of them if you a true brew. Praise a higher. Uh, you know. Hmm. What are we going into today? Well, let's pull out the let's pull out the email. This brother name was Yahuwah is one. And he said, I thought this was an announcement that him and his family are leaving America, as mentioned in his song. GOCC wasn't having it. You are supposed to be free. Pause. I am free. You know, GOCC wasn't having it. You know, I'm just going into, you know, they didn't want to see their brother go. But see, you might not understand something like that. You don't understand this love. You know, it's a beautiful thing that my folks, my family didn't want to see me go nowhere. Why are you going to take a shot at that? You know, you supposed to be free. I am free. You know, I do what I want to do. You know, I take in consideration what everybody is talking about. You know, the same way I'm taking in consideration everything you say. You know, I love people's opinions, especially when they different from mine, because that puts me in a position where I gotta exercise, right? And see where other people are coming from. That's the beautiful thing, right? You are your own man. You make your own decisions. That's right. I do. I agree with you right there. Right? What else he say? We all should be listening to the Almighty. I am. I am listening to him. Okay. I left this realm and got his words. Okay. And it's like he put his jacket on me and let me wear it for a minute. Okay. That's how it feels. Okay. You can't tell me about that. I know about that. You know, maybe more than you. Okay. Unless you've had one of these experiences, don't tell me about the Almighty. Okay. I'm his son. Okay. And not any man or a group. That's right. We should be listening to the Almighty and not any man or a group, unless the Almighty puts a man before you, okay, with his message. Okay. They doing this all throughout this book. This Bible that you got everything on. You got everything on this Bible, and it's full of men receiving a message from the Most High. Okay. And he has to send us to break things down, He has to send men to let you know what it is, because we can make mistakes, you know, or unless you would rather find out you're doing it wrong at his throne, where he ain't gonna be, all of the talking is done. We talking now. He ain't gonna want to do no talking when you get over there, right? So yeah, you got to figure things out, man, and yeah, you got to humble yourself. You got to be humble, you know. Real talk. Everything ain't no one man job. Sometimes it's gonna take two, three, four, five. It take a village sometimes, right? Come on, man. All of what's happening in America right now, if one still can't see what's happening, that one is blind, following the blind. I can't disagree with that. I can't disagree with that. But he didn't give everybody the same pair of eyes, right? So, and that's because we have to do the work, right? He left work for us, right? It's a job. A lot of people are earning their way out of hell because of this. You don't want to do that, brother. You rather just leave them sleep, or you rather have everybody know the same knowledge, like that place I went, because everybody knows the same knowledge there. No, help your brother. I love it. You know, I love it, and my ears is open, right? My ears is open for what I don't know, and so I can latch on to what you know the next brother got going on. If it's 144, let's go. You know, what he say next? Please don't take Isaiah 65:21 out of context. Not taking it out of context. That's not talking about planting vineyards in America. It's talking about planting a vineyard wherever you at when you wake up. What's wrong with you, man? You gonna keep going to the store? You gonna keep eating the poison? Huh? What you got to say? I wish he was standing right here, because I mean running his face. Because I would tell him to say that to the doctor when he tells you that Mr. Such and so, you have cancer. Okay, you have 6 months, or you have 9 months to live. Or, oh yeah, we're gonna see how much of that mouthful you got when you get that news. Okay, when you drive in your car and you fall asleep and flip like a roller derby. Okay, come on, man. It's talking about planting a vineyard wherever you at. When you wake up and you realize they're poisoning you, plant a vineyard. Okay, that's when he's talking about it. That's not talking about planting vineyards in America. It's talking about planting in the kingdom. We ain't gonna be doing nothing in the kingdom. We ain't touching nothing. Okay, the Gentiles are gonna be planting anything in the kingdom. That's if we have to plant anything, right? I don't even think we're gonna have to plant nothing. Think that's a thing of the earth, right? I think it's gonna be trees with what? 12 manner of fruit and all that. So what are you talking about, brother? And don't think because I'm getting a little fired up, I'm getting, I'm very passionate, I still love you. All the love, and it still goes. Okay, I still love you, you know. And I hope at the end of this you would say, you know what, you're right, brother, I apologize. And then we could go, and have fun together and grow some vegetation and eat it together, and raise our kids together to love each other and all that. You know what I'm saying? At the end of this, instead of you not hearing nothing I'm saying right now and then still coming back like I ain't said nothing. Okay, now let's finish reading you. Let's finish reading you. And anybody who want to send one of these, send it. And I'm gonna pick you apart, just like I'm doing this right now. Okay, Shemai. Okay, you said, man, you don't know why you had the death experience. Yes, I do. Okay, I told you everything is known in that realm. I know everything that happened. I might not say it because a lot of it wouldn't be good to say. I'm holding a lot back. Believe that. for y'all's sake. I'm holding a lot back. Some things that just wouldn't be good to say. He sent you back to get it right. I already had it right, brother. Already had it right. Okay? That's how I got there. I had it right. All right? You might need to listen to me. Okay? And you were about to get it right, but GOCC, oh, here we go with this. Your mind going one way and your mouth going another, the Almighty has lovingly revealed your confusion to you. I'm not confused, brother. Confusion goes. Confusion goes out the window. I know very well what's going on. Okay? He showed me. He showed me a lot of things. Okay? I know my eternity. I know that. I know all of it. Okay? And that's why I felt free to do what I want to do, because I know it doesn't send me to hell. Okay? You need someone who is stable. I have someone who is stable. Okay? I have a multitude of counselors. Okay? Not in any lands of captivity to lead you in the right way. Here we go with that. That's gonna cause so many of us that don't follow no man rhetoric and all of that, man. That's you ain't going to the love. You're not going to the love, man. And I want you to get this right, brother, so that you can go to the love. And that's hard too, man. It's hard to be a hater. Being a hater is hard. I've been a hater, so I know it took so much energy. It took a lot of energy, man. And I praise a higher that he put the heart in me to be able to turn that around, to spin that around and find out about the love. And I'm gonna do, if the Father will it, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do another segment, another one of these installments, and I'm gonna call it 2015, because that's when the love came and got me. Okay, it didn't come and get me when I had my incident in 2023. It came and got me in 2015 when I went crazy and started making all of them songs. Okay, some things happen. Some real things happen. You know, Let me see. You make your own decision and your family. Please don't miss the kingdom for anyone. I'm not gonna miss the kingdom, brother. I'm not gonna miss the kingdom. So you don't have to worry about that. But I should worry about you, you know, and get it right, man. Get that right, man. Come talk to me some more, man. Hit us up, man. Plant Vineyards 144 at Gmail. You know what I'm saying? Let's jump on the phone. I'll give you my number, you know, and let's talk more. I love you. I hope the best for you. I hope everything you want in life you get, unless it's something that comes, because you got to know what you want, y'all. You know, a lot of things we be wanting, and it come with a whole bunch of mess that we don't want to deal with. So, I hope the things that you want don't lead you astray, you know? So that's the end of that. Yahuwah is 1-463. And y'all send one up for this brother tonight, because I'm gonna send one up for him. Because I'm sitting here as loving as I can be, and then we get this brother, he pulls out a sledgehammer and he just go to beat me on my head, like, talk all kind of crazy, but all praises to the Most High, uh, for humility. What did the matchstick symbolize? Half on fire, half not. You saw that? That was dope, huh? As soon as I laid eyes on that, I fell in love with it. What did it mean to you? What when you looked at it? What you know what I'm saying? Cause when I saw that, I thought about I mean, you know how that is, right? When you set that book of matches on fire and it just burn across, right? But see that one in the middle, he moved out the way and he saved the other ones by you getting yourself out the fire and moving forward, doing the work, right? Duplicating yourself, right? And I know how that feels, right? And this whole Hebrew community, y'all don't know how embedded I am in it, right? And so many people never met me and they're just full of me, or who the Most High made me to be, you know. A lot of what y'all wearing, a lot of what y'all saying, right? A lot of your phrases, a lot of your, anytime you see that fist, anytime them cameras go up and the brother do that, that's your Ak Bronze right there. Okay. So yeah, we follow men. The Most High sends men, right? And all of y'all talking like if I leave this church, I'm toast. I'm gonna be fine. Okay. I'm gonna be fine if I leave this church. Okay. You'll be looking at 2 GOCCs. Okay. All right. So let's get that understood. And I don't mean to toot my own horn. Sorry if it sounds like that. But sometimes you have to set a brother straight. All right. So trust me, I'm gonna be fine. And I pray you be fine. Right? Now let's get back to this love, y'all. Let's love. Cause ain't nothing else gonna exist. Everything else is going to perish. Right? Only love will exist. Right? The scripture tells us that. Right? First Corinthians chapter 13. Okay? That's where we get that at. That's where we get that. And that's why that chapter is so important because it's teaching us how to bypass all of these other realms and go straight to the love. You ain't gonna see them tunnels. Okay? Them tunnels everybody wake up and say they saw. I didn't see none of that. Okay, I went straight into a warm bosom of love. I didn't even need sight. It felt so good. I could have just sat in that dark that I was sitting in. I never needed to see anything, right? That's how beautiful the feeling is, right? And that came from following Christ and doing what Christ said do and loving, right? Loving without condition, loving my enemies, okay? So many people have insulted me and I answered them with a compliment, you know? And that's the kind of stuff we got to start doing. We got to start giving our last. Give your last, right? I used to love to give my last, right? Cuz it's going to do it's going to do more for me. It's going to do more for my stomach to give it to you than it will for me to buy something for myself to eat. Take my last. What? What? Hold on real quick, y'all. Because my dog is barking at something. Ayash, come on now. What you guys see? All right. My dogs is barking. I might need to start barking too, huh? Huh, big boy. 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 Get out of here. My fault, y'all. Uh, man's best friend. Like we have an intruder. Yeah, let's reach y'all for a minute. Somebody talk to me. Brethren in the building. I am sorry. I don't understand. What don't you understand, Paula? Right? You have been utilized to be a major tool of instruction for me, big time. Jacob Jenkins, all praises to the Most High and the Most High alone. Okay? Nobody else but the Most High. Pray for me, Ak. Hit the Plant Vineyards 144. Pray with you for what? It's better when we know what we praying for. It works better. You know, give me a scenario. Let me know your situation so I could really, really hit it, you know? Peace and blessings, everyone. That boy Zay. I got a son named Zay. Okay. What's your name? Isaiah? I got a son named that. How do I get baptized in the higher in Yeshaya? All praise it to the Most High. Hit 144. Hit Plant Vineyards 144 at Gmail. And we'll see what's up. We'll see where you at. You know, get you in the church or whatever. See what we could work out. Peace. Peace to you too. Hand to the plow. Uh, oh, y'all, it's going too fast. My video was tripping. I had to start it over from the beginning. It wasn't working. Sorry about that, brother. Sorry your thing wasn't working for you. You know what I mean? It happens like that. You know, this technology is funny sometimes. Shalom, Mark. It's good to see your face and hear your voice. Praise the higher. I know you mean that. That's another thing, you know. Since I had my experience, I can, man, I can't tell. I can't tell you how I know somebody is truthful or not, but I know, you know, and that man, he really meant that. He really meant those words. I got an addiction. I'm too ashamed to tell. Yeah, definitely don't say it here, brother, but believe me, I've been addicted to a lot of things. You know what I mean? It ain't nothing you could tell me I ain't never heard before. So hit the Plant Vineyards 144. Let's talk about it. You know, because you can't do nothing but get better after you say it, after it come out your face to another person. You know, uh, the heavens hear it too, and they'll give you the strength. Whatever y'all struggling with out there, know this, that you're struggling with it for a reason. You know, and the Most High could snap his fingers and you won't want to deal with that thing anymore. You know, you won't have that habit anymore. You know, you won't have that behavior anymore. You know, he just watching you struggle and you can please him to the point where he going to say, all right, I'm going to take that. Right. What Yeshaya say, take this cup from me. Right. Let this cup pass from me. Right. And that cup could be a lot of things for a lot of people. The Most High could wipe that out instantly. Okay? Just got off the plantation. Blessings, everybody. Benjamite jewelry. Praise the higher. Ask the Most High for strength. Right. Reading y'all. I'm just reading y'all. Coming in the truth, I heard this powerful voice before I knew who it was. Before I knew who he was. Praise higher. How can I get baptized? Man, that's another one. We want to get baptized, huh? I want to go to the water. Take me to the water. Just people always judging stuff. Yeah, because we were meant to be judges, you know. It ain't nothing wrong with being a judge, but we just got to be a judge right. And we got to judge righteously. And we got to be living right by our own judgments, you know. And then judging is okay. Told us to be judges of big and small things, right? Nothing wrong with being a judge. If you don't, if you're not a judge, you're in trouble, right? Because you can't. A judgment ain't nothing but a decision. That's all it is. So you can't make decisions if you should jump off a building or not. That's a judgment, right? So if you ain't willing to judge nothing, how long are you gonna last? Not you particularly, but I mean whoever. You know, how long will we last if we're not out here making judgments every day, every minute, every moment, right? Con, we have to. We need to do better. We have to. We need to do better and take care of the vessel the Most High gave us. Right, right, because we only get one. You wanted to brew. We only get one of these temples, and the Most High told us don't defile it. So you don't think when we eat them chemicals, you don't think that's a defilement, and then they start coming out our face, coming out our nose, or your eyes start burning, you start coughing, you come down with inflammation. You don't know how it's going to affect you. You start sneezing, you have a sneeze attack. You know, you got to run to the bathroom and tear that up. Okay, Bin Laden in there. Okay, you know, rip the whole bathroom to pieces. You know, and how much of that you think we can stand before we get that horrible diagnosis? Inflammation is a warning. Pain is a warning. When you get that stomach pain, and they know this about us, and they're killing us, y'all. You know, when you get that headache, right? When you got them migraines, when you talking about I'm allergic to, ain't no allergic. You eating poison, you know. A lot of this stuff will have you, you know, like you drunk. It'll have you staggering, you know. You ever had that one day stomach flu? You ate something. You ate something you weren't supposed to eat, you know, and it did you like you've been drinking gin all night, right? You ain't got no strength in your knees. You crawling to the bathroom. You throwing up. Ain't that the same thing you do when you drunk? You can't hold nothing down, right? You got you got a fever. You got to call in to work. Horrible. Ain't y'all tired of that? I'm tired of that. I want to eat good food, you know? And I've been eating good food, you know? My diet is fruit and vegetables, you know? Fruit and vegetables, and you can make anything out of fruit and vegetables. I've been making it all, y'all. Tortillas out of quinoa. I've been doing it all, you know? I'm about to make some lasagna with eggplant, you know? Uh, just switch the noodles out for eggplant, slice it thin, stack it up. Delicious, right? And you can eat as much of it as you want to, right? gut is gone. I be wanting to peel out these clothes on y'all so y'all could see what happened. But that wouldn't be appropriate for my sisters. You know what I'm saying? Us brothers, we could get together, do that kind of thing, but it wouldn't be appropriate, you know, for my ak waf, you know. So yeah. I don't care what nobody else doing. I ain't about to do it, you know. Nah, because I believe that. I believe that works two ways. I wouldn't want a sister to pop out, how we have seen some sisters pop out in the past. Women are tempted, they get tempted too. These are facts. Jacob Jacob Jenkins, let's read you. Khan, I ask for the stronghold of marijuana to be removed. After abstaining during intense, Salaki, during intense temptation, the urge was made light as a feather. I was giving a mind to go about it upright. Praise the higher. All praises to the Father, man. Yeah, he lifts that kind of stuff, man, especially marijuana. He answered that kind of stuff fast because that is messing with your mind. That's messing with your conscience. That's you know, we're literally letting the demon in our head when we smoke weed, you know, and that's why our behavior change. Watch somebody who's high. That's not him. That's something ancient done crawled off in him, you know. Paula Israel says, I pray you forgive me, Brother Bronze. I use your music in my teaching lesson. I'm 50. I have never received your permission. Your music has been a blessing to me fighting cancer since 2019. Hit that Plant Vineyards. Hit that Plant Vineyards 144 at Gmail. I done beat about 3 cancers. Let me talk to you. Maybe we can have, a little hope. I ain't the most high or nothing. Sometimes the most high is like, nah, just come on home. But if it be his will, that cancer ain't the end, let's give it a shot. Let's give it a shot. Y'all pray for us. Everybody that's listening to this, pray for Sister Paula Israel. You know, we gonna get at this. We're gonna see, you know, what we can make happen with that. Great seed, okay? Depending on what kind of cancer it is, especially, but grape seed. And you definitely gonna have to come off of that meat because that meat feeds it. You're gonna have to come off of all sugar. That sugar feeds it. Okay. If you It's some certain stuff you can stop eating and the cancer will stop shrinking because you're not feeding it. But I ain't no doctor or nothing. I ain't no doctor. Don't let me get myself in trouble. Let's keep this, in the private somewhere, among ourselves. Don't let me get to getting in trouble around here. And about the music, I'm telling all of y'all right now, rip all of this stuff off this page. That's what it's for. Okay. I don't want nothing. I never asked you guys for any money ever. It ain't about that. Take it and put it in as many ears as possible because they might just say, who's Yeshaya? Yeshaya? Who's the children? We the children of Israel? And that's better than any dollar amount that anybody could give me for any of this. Take this music, y'all, and do whatever you want with it. I don't want nothing. Okay. Praise the higher, you know. His will be done, you know. Let's read y'all. Praise be to the most high for you, brother Bronze. I accept that. Long as the most high is involved, you know. Praise the high. Uh yeah, let's get this going, y'all. Uh hit up with that too, man. If y'all, you know, going through some, you got some type of an ailment, y'all hit up Plant Vineyards 144 at Gmail, you know, because I know a lot of that too. I ain't gonna talk about it here, but I know a lot of what heals and all of that stuff is easy. See, kidneys is hard. Kidneys is hard to get back right. And, you know, I've been able to do a lot. You know, these doctors are looking at me crazy every time they see me because I'm walking around with no kidneys and I'm doing everything that people with kidneys do. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, you know, we give Ahaya all the glory for that too. You know, he'll make a doctor mouth hang open. He's done it quite a few times by me, you know. So let's get that hope too, y'all. Chime in if you ain't feeling good. If this stuff already got you, you know, you might be every time you go for a meal, you might be feeding what's wrong with you, right? And this is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm doing this, right? This is coming, you know, from far away, okay? I know I jumped through some stuff. When I tell y'all I'm flying, I went eons away, probably, you know. Them space pictures, I went to that, you know. I know how it feels to be in that, you know. And yeah, so please tap in and let's get right. All of that. Let's get well. Let's get righteous. Let's learn love. I'm gonna go into that. I'm gonna do one on love, right? I'm gonna do one on love because those love scriptures, they're telling you how to get to where I went, right? And I'm not somebody that's preaching about some place I ain't been. Okay, I went, okay, and I got there, and I know how I got there, and I can get others there, right? And that's what I'm telling y'all, that the Most High, woo, he put a boost in this earth when he let me come back here with this. mm, mm, He made it clear, and without the love, right? Without the love, right? You're gonna play all these other games. You're gonna really go through all of the judgment and trying to weigh your good and your bad and all of that. With the love, you're gonna outdo that bad, right? And that's what the scripture means, you know, that that's what the scripture means, that it just you know, the you know what I'm talking about, the multitude of sin scripture. I'm bad, y'all. Almost went. I gotta be careful. It's a feeling. I feel it coming, and it make me stall in my speech, and I'll be ready to just go. And I might need to start going because it might be trying to give me something, right? So if we talking and I pause too long for you, I apologize. I might, you know, but this is crazy though. I've been feeling crazy for the past 2 years, right? You see, I'm gonna try to read y'all if it'll quit jumping. Last time I tried to read, it, it got like a frog on me. But let's see. Uh My wife and some sisters are trying to get some land to plant and grow. The Most High put it on her spirit, and then a few days later, you posted your first live, and I was like, wow. Believe me now, he sent me back with this. This is the spirit, and it is the spirit. He sent me back with it. He let me know. I wasn't thinking about that. I wasn't thinking about that, right? And it's such a big part of our lives, family. It's the reason why I was sick. Okay, it was the reason why our organs are messing all up, right? uh it's the reason the whole grocery store is no good. Okay, it's what the enemy is using to poison us. It's the reason. I mean, a lot of this stuff, it gaps us, right? It's separating us from the Most High. Okay, when you eat, when you eat the diet that I'm eating right now, you feel so close to the Most High, right? And then as soon as I put that meat in my mouth, I feel my thoughts change, right? I start thinking like a beast, right? And I gotta fight it off, you know. Now on the holy days, I'm gonna crunch with y'all. I'm gonna partake with you. You know, that's a given. But other than that, I'm cool, you know. And I'm a grill master. I used to love the barbecue. Y'all might know that if you were part of our cooking group, right? How many big old pans of meat I didn't put, you know, up in there, right? So you're talking to somebody who loves a barbecue and a sacrifice, a burnt sacrifice, okay? But if I can't do it right, I don't want to do it, you know? And what it puts the body through to have to break it down, you know? With my kidneys, whoo, you know, I can't do it. I get sick, you know, so I'll be having to take it easy, you know. I could I could I could have a piece of meat every 3-4 months, you know, and I'll be all right with that, you know. But and that's a lot of us, you know. A lot of people, we have a lot of problems and we don't know that that's why. But let's get this scripture. I think we should get this scripture. Uh I think we should get this scripture because it's talking about that, right? The doctrine of devils and all that. Let's clear up what this is talking about. Okay? 1 Timothy 4:1, right? Now the Spirit speak expressly that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith. Hey, leave him alone. Pick on somebody your own side. Giving heed. Yeah, you. Pick on somebody your own size. Giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. Okay? So how do we identify these seducing spirits and doctrines of devils? Speaking lies and hypocrisy. Okay, so they're lying and they do the same thing, right? Having their conscience seared with a hot iron. So their mind and their thoughts, okay, they burnt, basically, that we would call that today, you know, in our terminology. When you call somebody, you burnt, you know. Now we're going to get to it. Verse 3, forbidding to marry, right? Anybody saying don't marry, watch out. It's a doctrine of a devil, right? Anybody stopping you from getting married, okay? When you burning, okay? Like 1 Corinthians 7 say, you know, It's better to marry than to burn. You burn and somebody stopping you from getting married. That, you know what I mean? They're about to make you an adulterer if you fall off, you slip off. We don't know how strong somebody is. We don't know how, that ain't right. We shouldn't be forbidding people from getting married, right? Uh, Commanding to abstain from meats. We don't command anybody to abstain from meat, right? So I know a lot of people hear me talk about meat and their mind come here and they think I'm talking the doctrine of a devil, but I'm not commanding you anything. Keep eating it, okay? If you want to, but I'm gonna tell the truth about it, right? Which God has created to be received with thanksgiving of them which believe and know the truth. Key word, and know the truth. Do you know the truth about that meat that somebody just handed you that you don't know? Right? You don't know how that meat was raised, right? Type in some sevens if y'all got that. We were commanded to. Did that make sense? Okay, commanding to abstain from meats. We're not commanding anybody anything. Okay, we're just making sure you know what you're putting in your mouth, and that's anybody. Keep eating it. You know, but I'll tell you one thing: the more sin you rid yourself of, the closer the Most High is going to draw Himself to you, and the more you'll be able to hear His voice. Right? Because that's what happened. Ain't that what happened? Sin divided us from him, right? What's that? I want to say it's Genesis 6, right? My soul shall not strive with man, right? Because of sin, right? And sin only means bad, right? Don't always look for a commandment to match the word sin, you know, because you know there's a there's sin outside of it that ain't mentioned nowhere in the law, right? If my wife burned my toast, that toast is wicked, okay? She has sinned against me with that toast. If she expects me to eat that, okay? It just means bad. Sin means bad, right? It means unpleasant, okay? When we sin against the Most High, we break in the commandments, but I could sin against you, you know, making you feel away, hurting your feelings. I have sinned against you, right? And you got to understand that if you want to see this place that I saw, right? Because love does what? No ill to his neighbor, right? I wasn't doing no ill to nobody. That's how I made it there, okay? I felt people pain in my heart, okay? I felt for people. I didn't care who it was. I don't care if you was cussing me out. If you trip and fall in the middle of cussing me out, I'm gonna help you up and I'm gonna bandage you up. I love people, okay? Oh, you can't love everybody. I love everybody, okay? I look at you and I imagine your life. I imagine what you're going through when nobody's looking, okay? I'm an empath, okay? And anybody can be that. Anybody can be that. One thing the Most High don't do is give you a task that He knows you can't complete. He gives you the tools for the job that He needs you to do. And everybody with something jumping up and down in their chest called a heart, You can do this, right? And you can see what I saw. You can go where I went, right? And we're gonna go into that. But this ain't that one. But we're gonna do that one too, and we're gonna pull out the love scriptures because when I got back here, man, water come out my face all the time, you know, knowing where I went and then reading those scriptures again. Oh my goodness. Watch when we break them down, you know. But I'm gonna dig them out first, and then we gonna go through them because Christ was. Now I understand. Christ was teaching us how to jump all of them other realms. you know, we get to jump them, y'all. We get to jump all them other realms. You know, when according to your judgment, how your judgment works out, you're gonna be ranked here, ranked there. You're gonna go to this place. You can go to that place. You know what I mean? And there's going to be a bunch of different type of judgments for a bunch of different type of people. But like I said, we was one color in that realm where I went. We were all the same being. And it was the realm of love. Love is a place, right? And that was the realm of love. It was one color. And then I thought about all of the times I saw all of them space pictures and all of them colors that's in the space picture, right? But but man, that hour came so fast tonight. And I just freestyled it. I didn't have no plans. I just hit the button because I know I missed yesterday. I got caught up, and then it got too late. And you know, I had to skip last night. My fault. I apologize, Salakia. But I'm gonna try to hit this button every day for y'all. And we're gonna get in, we're gonna keep going, man, because it's gonna take some time to get this out. It's a lot of information, like I said. But you know, y'all tap in, you know, uh tap in. Uh Plant Vineyards 144 at gmail.com. Right? Let me type it in here. And somebody, if you want to, every time we on here, just keep putting this in here. Plant Vineyards 144.com. Whenever you feel like it, just boom, tap that in there. And let us know where you at too, because we got blessed today. And let us know where you at, because I told Ak I was gonna start sending him some people, because he has a lot of food. If I'm not mistaken, I think he said 15 acres. Shalakia, Ak, if you hear how many acres you said you had. Nashville, Tennessee. My praises. Yeah, send it to the email address. Send it to the email address. Because he said he got a lot of food. So y'all could all everybody who where he at could go start shopping right now. And let's take our Hebrew money out these other people's pocket, man. That's 12 tribe money. Huh? We getting 12 tribe money. We getting 12 tribe money. Let's keep it in the family. You know? That's what I'm talking about. That's what the Most High sent me back on. Who is it? Oh no. They over there. You see it? Get him. Get him. Hold down the fort. All praises. Yeah, we 5 minutes in. Let's kill it, y'all, and let's save some. Let's not overdo it. I don't want to do all it. I don't want to do no super long videos, then have you sitting here for 4, 5 hours. No, I don't want to do that. I want to be in and out real quick, a little bit every day, and praise the higher, because I know our attention span be short. So, you know, what's the email for in a nutshell? What's the email for? Hit us up. That's what it's for. Hit us up if you want to participate in this food, right? You know, if you want to buy food, if you want to plant food, I'm sure it's going to be people donating. If you need something, we can be able to, send you some dirt, send you a planter box, something like that, get you them joints for your patio that I was talking about. I'm pretty sure some things going to start circulating, you know. And if you got something to bring forward, we going to put it in good hands, So that's what it's for. We about to feed the children of Israel. We about to come up out of these grocery stores and these restaurants. And I'm gonna start doing some cooking stuff too and show us how to cook. I can cook with nothing but fruit and vegetables and make any dish, you know, you can imagine, oxtails, whatever, steak, you know, whatever you want, you know. So you know, praise the higher, But yeah, 107, 7 is perfection, right? We went 7 minutes past the 1 hour mark. Okay, so let's kill it. We're gonna tap in, Father willing, tomorrow. All right. Love y'all. I am Shalom.